Hello and welcome to Pushing the Potters. This is episode 7. You join me now after the transfer window's in full swing. We left ourselves last time after a disappointing end to the Europa League campaign, a 2-1 defeat in the final to Celta Vigo. But we pick up now, start of the Premier League season, 18-19. We've made some transfers. Let's catch up. So, we may as well just look at the outs. We've had a few of the academy players disappear, but the big one really, we talked about transfers. We said we were looking for £40 million for our better players. We got £42 million for Xherdan Shaqiri. He's gone back to Bayern Munich. It's probably he's made his way back to where he started in a way. He's taken the long route maybe to get to where he wants, but he's racked up £75 million worth of transfers along the way, and fair play to him. He's going to be a big miss to us, but hopefully we've signed the right players that can fill the void. And let's start at those. We're going to start with the youngster, Stuart Marlin. Now, I agreed this transfer a good while ago, but certainly before the end of the season. I just thought he looked like a really good prospect. 17 years old, those mentals, those physicals, he's well on the way. We're loaning him out for the season to Crawley Town. You can see he's actually already scored in the League Cup for them, so that's good news. He is an under-19 international as well. He's scoring goals for them if you just cast your eyes to the UEFA European Championship under-19 qualifiers. Quite a mouthful. Did I see there as well? He's two-footed? Absolutely not. Right only. Good. And left back, we haven't even entertained the idea of bringing Baba Rahman back in. We've gone out and signed Alex Telles. I think he's a great pro, and I think we've signed a good player there for $8.5 million. Of course, Juventus signed him just last season. You can see there for 15 and a quarter. So they've taken a significant hit on him. He didn't really set anything on fire at Juventus during his one season and 7 games with the club, but I think he can do a good job for us. A name familiar to a lot of FMers will be Nikola Vlasic. I think we've picked him up. He hasn't perhaps developed as yet, but I think he's in the right place to do just that. I think we'll play him. He'll certainly be a good option for us when Sigurdsson's maybe not available. He can also play on the left side. That's where we seem to find a good outlet for him, on the left side of the attacking 3 in midfield. We've also signed Domenico Berardi, yet again another name that'll be familiar with a lot of FMs. It is going to be a lot of these kind of familiar names, I feel, until we get the regens, and that's when it really kicks in. But we've got Domenico Berardi, again, he's only 24. He scored a lot of goals for Sassuolo. Maybe not last year, we'll ignore last year. Maybe not even the year before. In fact, cast your eyes back to 2014-15 and the years before. That's when he scores goals. But he has scored a few belters for us already in pre-season. 3 and 4 for him and an 8.05. So that's been good. Quite expensive, but I think he's going to be good on that right side. Certainly a good option up front as well. And certainly the man who I see replacing Shaqiri, at least until he asks for a transfer to Real Madrid. We've also signed Kyle Walker-Peters. I think he was a bargain at £3 million. He comes in just purely as backup at the left and right back slots, which is very handy. We lost Glenn Johnson to, well, his contract expired, so we didn't lose him anywhere particularly, but he's gone. Other senior players who have gone. Peter Crouch has retired. Dennis Jurgen's gone out on loan. We just weren't using him. And the rest, Jeff Cameron's also gone. I think he's playing for Panathinaikos. He is indeed. Okay, yeah, brilliant. So, pre-season went pretty well. We had a Shawcross testimonial. He's played for Stoke City, Manchester United, and Royal Antwerp in his career, as far as I'm aware. So, obviously, he picked Besiktas for his testimonial, and we duly give them a right thumping. 7-1. He came on very late and to mop up the applause from the 20-odd thousand supporters, and he'll take his cash to whatever charity I'm sure he supports. We played a lot of middle-of-the-road sides, and we've had various degrees of success, all wins, some good performances, some good goals. Nothing really important to talk about, but let's get into today's game. We're away at Norwich, newly promoted Norwich City. This is the team we're going to go with. It's his Jack Butland. It's quite familiar to what we started last year, really. It's Trippier, it's Shawcross, it's Brooks, it's Telles, the only addition to the defence. Joe Allen and Bula continue him in the middle. Berardi replaces Shaqiri on the right side. We're moving Sobby infield because of a injury to Sigurdsson. He broke his ribs in pre-season, so he's not available. So Sobby moves inside. Vlasic takes up that position on the flank. You can see his comfortable or familiarity with the squad is not quite up to scratch, nor is Berardi's. Telles is on his way. So there's going to be some time perhaps before we can get fully functional with these new players, but I think in time we've signed some good players here. We're going to stay, I know it's an away game, but we're going to stay on the home system today. They are a newly promoted side. It's up to us to go and stamp our authority on the game and take the game to Norwich. So we'll certainly try that. It'd be interesting to see who they've picked up. Remember, this isn't season 2. This is season 3. So clubs are a little bit more developed in this save as it stands. Bit of a chat there, so you can see they've got Martin Odegaard, they've still got Murphy, I believe, has gone to Norwich and will have to sign Aaron Moy, still got Johnny Howson, they've got Tim Closer, Bakary Sagna on the right, still got familiar players in John Ruddy and Bassong. The bench isn't particularly noteworthy. I don't see anyone there that shouldn't be there, but that just proves to you really that it is it's a together squad. You know, they're going to know each other. And that's what we've got to deal with today. A newly promoted side at home, on the bounce. And they're a together squad. They're not going to be happy with anything other than a win today, regardless of who we are or whoever we want to be. Because we want to finish top of the pile. Norwich just don't want to finish in the bottom 3. Let's go then. So a few minutes in, headed away. Ramadan, he's in the centre now, so he's not isolated on the flank. He's perhaps bitten off a bit more than he can chew there. The impetuousness of youth. He heads down though, and Mbula, ever assured. Trippier on the right side now. Berardi on his debut, just a toe in there by Dykes. Long ball forward to, I don't know who this Suarez is. Suarez. Alex Pritchard off the post, was it? I think it was, and cleared away in the end. 5 minutes in, Norwich had the first real chance. We didn't look after the ball particularly well there, and that's probably a problem for us. We may have to draw back. Corner ball is cleared only as far as Murphy. I think that's Jacob. Butland picks it up though. We'll check the stats. Yeah, we've not really been in the game, but if we can create something, and we just seem to be running at them and allowing them to tackle us, and that's not really how we want to be playing, unless a bit of a slide there. Didn't really get the ball. They've got a man over that side, and you can feel it's coming. So we're just gonna allow them to continue to do that, but we're not going to commit as many players forward. Maybe it's worked. Tellez will drift the corner in. It's headed on, and Ramadan, always good in the air, apparently, heads home, and we're off the mark. That's all we needed to do. You'll notice Ipswich Town also in the Premier League. They're winning their game. They're top of the league at the moment. Also came up with Burnley. So we had Norwich, Burnley, familiar sides. Ipswich, perhaps the least familiar of those. Berardi streaking forward down the right side, has a shot. Didn't really catch it as he might have liked, but it was a good run. He certainly made strides across the pitch there. And we are we're nearly into half-time. And I'm happy with this so far, to be honest with you. I think we've taken the sting out of Norwich's game. At least so far. I'm sure their manager will have a few words to say to them at the break. So, yep, that's half-time. Ramadan. Important players for us now. We had bids for him from Monaco. He wasn't overly interested in leaving, so we didn't entertain the idea. I was looking for around 55, 56 million pounds for him. Monaco only got as high as 44. So an exceptionally high bid, but not in the region that we'd like to be accepting, because I just don't think we could replace him for such a value. Or I don't know who to replace him with, should I say. Anyway, Vlasic now. One for the future. That's not a bad effort, you know. He's brought that on. He's kept it under his spell there. Another comfortable, you'd say, save for John Ruddy. Two England goalkeepers facing each other today. Ruddy perhaps in the twilight, maybe even beyond the twilight. I know he was released by Norwich in real life, but not the case here. Brooks heads down to Tellez. Vlasic picks it up again on the left side. Is he going to get tackled? He is. He just sort of dallied on it a little bit there. Brooks heads it towards the touchline. It's kept in well. It's a good challenge, that is, there. Odegaard finding his feet in the Premier League. We'll find it's a tough league to get used to. We did have a sniff at Odegaard, but the wages, that's Johnny Howson. He's going to walk for that. Didn't look to be much in it, but he did tangle with. Must have been Berardi, and he's gone. I think he's the captain, and he'll walk. So that really does swing the game into our favour. It really would be a disappointment now to throw away this lead. But anyway, Joe Allen now. We should be able to assert our dominance, although Ramadan dallied again. It's not been a fine performance. It's been a professional Premier League performance, you would say. Tellez, good start from him. He's picking up where Baba Rahman left off. Here's Berardi. Swings it out left to Vlasic. This new look front three as it is today. Tackled well by Sagna Vlasic there. Sagna's got the experience edge on him. It's Pritchard. Crosses. It's a great save by Butland. That really is what you'd like to see. Pritchard will swing the corner in. It's headed away. We really need to try and make this game safe. Norwich should be out of sight, considering they're down to 10 and we already have the lead. Again, we dally on the ball and we don't really do anything with it. It's 25 minutes to play. It's cleared out. Milik will pick it up. Here's Ramadan now. Stoke are coming forward quite nicely. Is Berardi. Can he cut inside? Great ball. Milik finishes the game, surely, with 25 to play. He gets the goal. Nice play by Berardi. It was a professional attack. You know, a good counter-attack. And that's what we've been trying to do. We can try and bring on some substitutes. Let's get Retso involved because Brooksy must have picked up a little knot there. So, yep, just 20 minutes to play. And John Ruddy, he'll take this free kick. It's launched long. Too long, probably. Shawcross. When will he retire? Never. Hopefully. Allen now. Tellez picks it up. Good debut. Trippier, ever assured. Strides into the Norwich half. They're backing off. He skips past one. Into the middle. And Mbula's got the range on it. Oh, he scores another great goal. An absolute pile driver from Gianelli and Mbula. Again, great play from Trippier. He did do well there. Shall we make a change? I think we should. I think we should try Ayer. And you'll notice Tyrese Campbell, another Youth Academy product on the bench. We're not going to use him today, though. We are going to get Dembele involved instead of, in place of Alex, or Arkadiusz Milik, I should say. Just a few minutes to go now. That's a great way to start the season. It does leave us on top of the Premier League, albeit temporarily at least. Norwich have got a lot of work to do if they want to stay up. I think they started well, but after a couple of knocks, they soon found themselves 2-3 goals behind. And that's going to be a long story for them, I think. They might do okay. It all depends on whether they can score the goals, of course. Early signs are not so good. So, we'll see them shortly again at our ground. But in the meantime, we'll take that to the bank. 3-0. Great way to start the season. And good impacts from some of the new players. That's 2.7 million. I always panic that I've done a deal just because I want the player. I've signed him with a ridiculously high transfer clause of a few million. But fortunately, just 2.7 will come out when he scores another league goal. So that's good. Right, so obviously the transfer window is still in effect. We have until we play Ipswich to strengthen or sell players. There are still players sniffing around clubs sniffing around our players. Interestingly, Mark Muniz is wanted by Lyon and Valencia. Sobby is still wanted by Madrid. Vlasic wanted by Middlesbrough. They did come in on loan. I won't be entertaining that idea. Gylfi is wanted by Man City. Real. Tyrese is wanted by Hull. So there are a few clubs sniffing around our players. If we have to sell, we will buy. But I don't really want to. I mean, the squad's quite small, so maybe it is worth buying maybe another centre half, perhaps another central midfield player. But I'd rather not, if I'm completely honest. Maybe we need to move Tosselu on, just because he's not going to get game time. But yeah, we'll see what we do. I will be back for the Ipswich Town game, so that'll be Norwich and Ipswich on live comms, and I will address any new signings with you at that stage. It's been a pleasure again. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.